Hold on, what did he say?
Involved with one of Josh Allen's girl, right? Pretty white girl.
This how you know he didn't watch the movie. She was a white passing girl. She was mixed. She was in the movie. She was mixed. That's part of the plot. But you weren't watching the movie. Yo, dog. Oh my, yo, listen. All right, listen, I've been seeing a lot of the Stevie Knight versus Abin Preach versus what is it, Jew Almighty. I seen a Young Don video on this. And all of that. Everybody basically gave their perspectives. And our guy Stevie right here, I remember back in the day, reactions. We was both on it. Eminem reacts. And I will talk about the pipeline from Eminem reacts down two separate paths of reality. I will talk about that one day. But I feel like Stevie has become what the internet has deemed as a lol cow. All right. Shout out to all my Caucasians out there. I've been brushing up on y'all's the poggers side of the internet. I'm getting y'all's lingo correct. What I think a lol cow is somebody who, like, you're out here and you're acting in a way and people are watching it and they're like, yo, this person does not know what they're talking about or know what they're doing, and we're going to laugh at their expense. Okay? I feel like that's kind of what Stevie has become. People are laughing. And the whole part of a lol cow is you don't know that you're the lol cow while everybody's milking these laughs and ha-has off of you. All right? Now, I think that's correct. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But this is his breakdown of Sinners. He said it's trash. We're going to go over what he said. Let's get it.
Well, I went to go see The Sinners last night. Trash.
He got to be rage baiting, bro. He got to be.
Go ahead.
Hey. So disappointed. Sinners was
ass.
Who is? That's his. All right. All right.
Sinners was
ass.
I don't see how you can watch Sinners and be like, this is ass. All right. But and you want to know why I don't believe what Stevie Knight is saying right now? If you can find me another video like this of him saying another movie that his community wouldn't say was a propaganda piece that he watched that he didn't like in the past 365 days, then I would think what he was saying is correct. Okay. I went to New Orleans. I came back, said the food was trash. All right. I did. But then I went to Chicago and I said, this is the greatest food I ever tasted in my life. I gave updates on things that I've watched. I think there's a specific reason Stevie is giving this review and none of the other movies he's watched in the past year no attention or shine on his channel.
ass. I don't get it, bro. I mean, we get it. We get it. But
It was made for
a reason. We're going to talk about it, though. But that movie was fucking trash. I'm so disappointed.
But what movie isn't made for a reason? We'll continue.
Yeah, and then why y'all gassed it?
Gas. That movie
for
was...
what? It was not good.
And we thought we was the only ones, but then I went to the bathroom and I was talking to bros that just watched it, and they was confused as shit. Like, bro, what the fuck did I just watch? What up, Night Nation? It's your boy, Stevie Knight. About to get on one of these things. You feel me? What's good to watch? Night Watch, man. Yeah, nice little change of pace, bro, because we doing a movie review.
You hear what he said? A change of pace. Stevie, why are we doing a movie review now? Why are we reviewing a movie now? And not any other time, why are we reviewing it now?
Before we do it, like always, man, Peter Drip. Shop, StevieKnight.com for that. course, your boy's book, still available for purchase. My book is better than the Sinners, bro. I ain't even capped, dog. Ain't even close, bro. But I don't want to come across as I'm hating, bro. I don't, dog. But it's just because of the fucking hype, bro.
Why is it so hard for people to say, you know what? I didn't like this. It's not hating. I don't have no, clearly he's doing a movie review now because there's an incentive on his channel for him to hate. There's a reason, right? Usually when I tell people, yo, this is my opinion, I have no reason to hate. There's no incentive for me saying New Orleans food is garbage doesn't push me in a environment that I exist in. But Sinners, Stevie, there's a reason why you have an incentive to go in there and say, how can I view this through the lens of my audience so I could go tell them how I feel and they'll relate to that. More views. Were we born yesterday, buddy? All right.
I'm talking about, I was hyped, bro. You feel me? Like, it always happens to me though, bro. It always happens to me when things are hyped. They never live up to the expectation. There's that. But then this just tanked as far as I'm concerned, bro. Warning, if you hadn't seen it and you plan on seeing it, don't even watch this because I'm about to give you all the spoilers, bro. But yeah, me and my girl decided to go pull up and watch it finally because of just the promotion, but then like all the positive responses from the movie, bro. Like the reaction, the reviews from the movie have been crazy, bro. I'm talking about 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right. I'm going to make a bet with y'all right now. Okay. I bet you in this video, he's not going to say, yo, in the reviews, they said this. But when I watched it, I didn't see that.
8.3 on IMDb. Like, I don't even really rock with Rotten Tomatoes, bro, because they be on that different type of time. IMDb, I refer to them as pretty accurate as far as reviews are concerned, bro. So when I seen that, and then on top of it, bro, like I am a horror movie lover, dog. It's my favorite genre of movies, bro. And it's vampires on top of it, and I'm a vampire enthusiast, bro. Like I'm a vampire buff. You feel me? I like everything vampires, bro, from the 30 Days and Nights to hell, the Blades, bro. Right? Underworlds. You know what I'm talking about? Let Me In.
Bro, if Blade came out today, Stevie would be saying it's trash just like Sinners. You want to know why? Because the black double half Daywalker was taking out the extreme white vamp. He would have said that if it came out today, he would be saying what he said about Sinners. I guarantee you, bro. He would.
The Draculas, bro. Hell, I fuck with Vampire in Brooklyn. Goddamn. Yeah, I even fuck with Twilight. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. The first time I seen Twilight, dog, I was like, man, what the fuck is this gay? I remember like yesterday, dog. I went and peeped through a red box because everybody was gassing it. Kind of the same situation here, right? And I'm watching it thinking I'm about to see some vampire-ish, and I see these vampires' skin all twinkling in the sun. Like, what type of gay shit is this, bro? But then when I understood what it was about, you know what I'm talking about? It's vampires, but it's pretty much a whole Romeo and Juliet type of situation. Like, werewolves, vampires, same thing but underworld. You know what I'm saying? Dope storylines though. Right? So once I understood that, I rock with Twilight. I understood.
Dope storylines. Twilight was a good storyline, yes. How was Sinners not a good storyline?
Concept. But this right here, especially when you classify it as horror. You know what I'm talking about? Especially when you classify it as horror. You know what I mean? And I am as critical comes when it comes to movies, bro. That's why I don't even try to go watch new movies these days.
Does he know that when people make movies, they don't set out to make, they don't go into it saying, yo, I'm about to make a horror movie. The classification comes out after the movie, right? You just write the script. This is the script of the movie I'm writing. You might have pieces of horror, you might have pieces of comedy, pieces of drama, pieces of action. You might have all of that. But you're going into it for the story. You're making the story. The classification comes out after the movie.
Because can't nobody come up with no fresh ideas and, you know, new scripts. I feel like they keep recycling the same type of plot over and over and over again using different actors. You feel me? So, you know, I can't even tell you last time me and my girl went to an actual movie, bro, because nothing has been alluring to us. But anyway, we pulled up to this, man, because just the response from it is viral. Like this is the one. You know what I'm talking about? I done heard people getting up and clapping after. I'm like, to a horror movie? Okay, say less. Let's ride. I was looking forward to it and shit. And I don't usually look forward to nothing, bro. But I was looking forward to going to the movie, watch shit with my girl. Bro.
I'm not gonna lie. People got up and clapped during Twilight. Bro, if you was in the theater for Twilight at that one scene where they had the big battle, right? And I think somebody died at the end of it. And then it cuts and it's like the before battle. And it's like none of it ever happened. Yo, in the movie theater went crazy when that happened.
Bro, I'm telling you, 30 minutes in this motherfucker, me and my girl looking at each other like, you serious? Like, maybe it's just us, because we often find ourselves in that type of element, bro. Like, we are so critical on films that we often, like, looking at each other like, bro, this shit ass. Where everybody else think it's the world, we like, man, maybe it's just us.
Maybe you're not critical. Maybe you live in a small box that nobody else exists in. Because if everybody else thinks these things are good and you don't, that don't make you more critical. That just means the box that you consider good is a box that most people don't consider good. That's what that means.
But it's clearly not us, bro. Because after the movie, I'm talking to people in the films that
but he said on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, and he's seen videos of people clapping, and it's so viral that the movie is going good. So it's not that it's basically just y'all. It's a very small minority of people who are like, yo, this movie's garbage, and you're in that minority.
Yeah, the same sentiments as I did, so I know I'm not crazy. But before I dive into my feelings about it, I need to lay out what happened. You know what I'm saying? The plot or whatnot. So we're on the same page. But in the plot ain't even nothing, bro. It ain't even nothing, dog. What's going on during Jim Crow?
The plot is nothing? What are we talking about? I want to, yo, Stevie, what school system did you grow up in? All right. Where did you go to elementary school? Where did you go to middle school? Where did you go to high school? And if you went to college, where did you go to college? All right. I want to look up the credentials of where you went because people talk about how they critique things, but they just critique it based on if they like it or not. Right. That's not how you critique things. When you critique a movie, you critique it on its plot lines. You critique it on its setting. If you don't know the setting, who, what, when, where, why, and how. All right. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? That's what the teachers teach you, right? For it to be bad or missing something, you have to look at those things. Who did it happen to? What was happening? Why did it happen? How did it happen? That's what you have to ask to come to these conclusions. Just because you don't like it doesn't make you a critic.
Right. I think it's either Mississippi or New Orleans. I don't forgot. It don't even matter, bro. It's back in June.
No, but it does matter. It matters where it's at because that's part of the plot. You can't take out where it was and say, well, it doesn't matter where it was because that's part of the plot of the movie.
You idiot. You're honestly an idiot. I don't know what's
black
wrong with
folks.
you.
You feel me? Michael B. Jordan's one of the main characters, but he plays himself twice because he plays a twin of himself, so it was two of him. And they like some prohibition gangsters back then, right? Making money the illegal ways or whatnot. And they hit a lick in Chicago, come back to wherever it is. I can't remember where it was. But back to their hometown or whatnot. buy a barn from an alleged KKK member who claims he's not KKK no more, and they turn the barn into a juke joint. Well, that's the intention. And then like the first 30 minutes is just developing this plot where they going around recruiting who they need to run the juke joint for the grand opening that night. Right, so they pick up a musician, they pick up a cook, they pick up a security guard, you know what I'm saying, highlight their little stories or whatnot. You see the main love interest, Josh Allen's girl, right, pretty white girl, and she's involved with one of the twins, you know what I'm saying, and then, hold
on, what did he say?
Involved with one of Josh Allen's girl, right, pretty white girl.
This is how you know he didn't watch the movie. She was a white passing girl. She was mixed. She was in the movie. She was mixed. That's part of the plot. But you weren't watching the movie. Yo, dog. Oh my, yo, listen.
And she's involved with one of the twins. You know what I'm saying? And then juke joints popping, right? And then vampires randomly.
That is one of the biggest plot points of the movie. That she was mixed. She wasn't a white girl in the movie. She was a white passing mixed person. That's why I don't remember Smoke or Stack. I don't remember which one. I don't remember which was which. Okay. But the one who was with her, the reason why he left is because he knew it would be safer for her to date in the community that she passed for instead of dating him. So he wanted to go do his own thing. That was the whole crux of the separation of their relationship. That's part of the plot. Stevie, were you not watching the movie, dog?
Pull up. They just randomly pull up.
Hold up.
Vampire juke joints popping, right? And then vampires randomly pull up. They just randomly pull up. Like the initial introduction to the vampires, when it was an initial, you see a man running through grass to a house, and that's how they introduce the vampires. I understand the connection of the vampires to the barn with the music or whatnot, which I'll get into later. But eventually the vampires pull up to the juke joint, want to get in, right? Eventually, the black folks and the vampires bump heads. Vampires end up fucking the majority of the black folks up. And really, that's pretty much it.
Is it like, if that's all you pulled from the plot of the story, that lets me know that you're not a critic like you thought you were. Because there were so many more parts of the plot. First of all, Smoke and Stack went to Chicago where they were messing or in cahoots with a crime organization in Chicago. So the part of the white community that they were dealing with, if it were the black community, people would alienate this, but they were getting away with it up there. So they took some of their practices up there to build their own community. I think it was Italians in Chicago, right? They took that same ideology and said, yo, we're going to use this money and we're going to do the same thing that Italians are doing for their own community, even though the Italians in America's eyes are white. We're going to take the money and we're going to do the same thing for our community and try to build up our own little place where we could grow our wealth, right? That's part of the plot of the story. But he just...
Like the story is, there's not much there, dog. And there's so many gaping holes throughout just the literal script. And like I said, it took entirely too long for the motherfucker.
This is why, if you can't explain what the hole is, there was so let me start with this hole. This didn't make sense because this didn't make sense because that. And this also didn't make sense. If somebody don't do that, they don't know what they're talking about. You're just talking, you're chatting. That's it.
To develop for a horror.
You should be able to tell somebody, yo, if you're a food critic, you'll be able to say, well, you use the paprika, and the way that paprika, the accents of the paprika bounce off the garlic, this is why it gives that sour taste in this dish that people wouldn't expect to be sour. That's being a critic. Saying, yo, this food is trash. I don't know what it was, but something happened when you cooked it and it came out. That does not make you a critic.
Story. And you gotta understand my perspective. I'm coming in this motherfucker looking for horror, looking for vampire, looking for dope shit. right? I will say the acting was phenomenal. Acting was superb.
Okay, I want Stevie to name 3 other movies with phenomenal acting that he thought was trash. If you're in the comment section, you could do the same. What is a movie that had phenomenal acting that was trash? These are the questions people need to ask people because they just be talking. All right, you're just chatting.
Yeah, I mean, cinematography was cool. You know what I mean? Like the production of it was cool. But as far as just the script and what they were doing with it, bruh, it's like, I don't even know where to start, bro. There's so many gaping holes. Like at the beginning.
So after recording this video, I was on the phone with my boy. Why you just skipping it? You was about to give a gaping hole. Oh, in the beginning, he was about to say it. I'm guarantee you he said a bunch of bull and, you know, like, it didn't make sense, so he just cut it out the video. Or maybe his homie called him. I don't know.
What made you guys think that the movie was trash?
Man, that's just ass, bro.
See, when people answer like that, what made the food trash? It was just trash. What made the event not good? It was just trash. You got to say like the DJ wasn't playing good music. They ain't have no drinks in there. Hookah took 2 hours. There's reasons. If you're not giving, but this is the problem. You can't reason people out of ideologies they didn't use reason to get into. He didn't use reason to develop that this movie's trash. There was no reasoning. So you're never going to hear a thing that you can say, okay, well, let me talk about this reason and maybe you'll think otherwise. He didn't use reason to get to his conclusion.
How? In what regards? Please elaborate.
He's going to say it was just trash.
There's so many holes in it as
Same thing. You're not saying anything.
far as the movie, because you know I'm a horror buff and I'm a vampire dude, bro. So as far as executing a horror film, including vampires, they dropped the entire ball on that, bro.
Yeah, no, I told you that. Remember, I said it's not about the vampires.
I know it's not about the vampires, but if you're gonna use vampires, you gotta do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be half-assed and shit.
What does using vampires? Does Stevie Knight not know vampires are not real? You can take vampire lore, what vampires are supposed to be. There's Resident Evil zombies. Then there's World War Z zombies. Which one's the real zombie? Tell me which one's the zombie. There's ET aliens. Then there's alien aliens. Which one's the real one? Which one's the real alien? Then there's Avatar aliens. Which one is the real alien? Come on, bro. What are we?
A little bit of background.
For example, bro, like when Michael B. Jordan and his vampire brother twins are fighting, that don't happen in the vampire world, bro. You can't have hand-to-hand combat with no vampire, bro. He'll rip your fucking arms off and shove them up your ass. That shit wasn't believable.
Didn't he want to not kill his brother? He didn't want to kill his brother. That's why also in the post-credit scene, he pulled up and like, yo, I'm glad to see, or he pulled up to Sammy to say, I'm glad you're still doing your thing, whatever, because they survived. But he didn't want to kill, yeah, because his brother died when the people pulled up to shoot up the place the next day. So he didn't want to kill him. How are you calling yourself a critic? And you don't even know when you watch the movie, the reason why the hand-to-hand combat happened like that. It's because his brother didn't want to kill him.
You idiot. You're honestly an idiot. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Like, bro, pinning a fucking vampire, yeah, fucking right. And then the girl crying because her husband out there, knowing there's a bunch of vampires out there, and she invites all the vampires in. Like, that shit was fucking goof true.
Oh my God, bro. She did it because the vampire said that he was going to go back to the town and kill their daughter. If you never seen people do irrational things to protect their kid, they lock themselves in a room with the monster so everybody else can run. This is literally a, what is it called? A motif in horror films. People sacrifice themselves to protect other people. And not only that, when it talks about the relationship between black people, white people, or Asian people in this regards, right? A lot of the time, the propaganda will incentivize people to not align with what's best for black people, even though they're around them, and say, hey, maybe you should separate you. Because at the end of the day, the vampire wanted Sammy because he wanted his powers. The vampire never even wanted her daughter, but he made it seem like that. And that propaganda he used right there caused her to call all of the vampires in. What movie were you watching?
What's the part that I thought that was very, very bad.
Yeah, people, but that's supposed to happen. People do dumb things in movies. Just because what she did was dumb, we all think she was dumb for doing it. But what was his Ramirez? I forgot what his the vampire's name was. But the reason he did that is your daughter's in town, isn't she? Mind you, there's a whole town of people and their friends and family there. He singled out her daughter.
On that part.
And then they actually fighting the vampires too. It's like 5 or 6 of them that don't have no combat experience out besides Michael B. But they handling fucking vampires with bullets, and vampires don't die from bullets, but you see these vampires getting fucked up from bullets. 100 vampires coming in to fuck with them, they would have been dead in 2 seconds. How they just dropped.
What movie isn't like that though? Realistically, what movie ain't like that? Deep Blue Sea, them sharks would have killed everybody in there. But they didn't. All right. You can't, like, a movie happens because that's what happened in the movie. Realistic World War Z zombies would take over the whole world. The T virus in Resident Evil would have spread throughout the whole world. Annabelle would have demolished. Freddy Krueger would have killed everybody who went to sleep that knew about him. The first time they went to sleep after they found out. But he didn't. That's why it's a movie.
The white guy just randomly, like he running through a field and goes to this house. Like they didn't provide no backstory. Just like they needed a random vampire to pop up to get the story going. Like you need to provide some context. They could have left that part out and just continue with the story of how powerful music is and just introduce the vampires then, because then it would make sense of how these vampires came across to Buddy, because the music was that powerful. Like he just happened to be randomly at some town with his family, and then,
but that is the dude was Irish, right? I think they used to call Irish people in America inside out Negroes. That's what they used to call them. So him popping up in this place randomly is synonymous to back in the day when they used to have no Irish allowed, an Irish person finding themselves in black neighborhoods or black ghettos. That's how this white how did he just end up here, right? When in black people's eyes, like, you're white, why aren't you over there with those people? You end up, it's the same analogy to what happens. You just pop up random and now you're in this, like,
and he hears the music and now he's there. And then the fucking Indians just,
Yeah,
that was
Native Americans were chasing him. Were chasing him to kill him because, remember, Native Americans were hunters of the vampires.
Yeah. But that was it. They just had them in there for 2 seconds, and then if the Indians are there,
They were going to show back up during the.
but they didn't.
Did you think that they were going to show up too again or no?
I thought that they were going to include them some other point. You know what I'm saying? These some fucking
that's what
killers.
I did.
They know how to handle vamps, and you gonna just a vamp's running loose in your town or whatever. You gonna just let the motherfucker go? That was stupid. And then you're not gonna tell the bitch that there's a vampire in the crib. You're gonna just let her fucking get killed. Like, to let her know something. Like, you.
but that's the point. The point is, what that family seen is, once he came for refuge, what they seen, he was a KKK member, white supremacist. You as an Indian, right? Your ancestors went through French and Indian War, colonialism of America, blah, blah, blah. That's what they represented. So you think the Indian about to pull up and be like, yo, you know that white guy who just ran in your house, he's actually evil. They're white supremacists. They were the KKK members. Why would they listen to the Indian? They're going to say, no, he's white just like us. What you mean? And that's how these conflicts happen, because people who do have bad intentions end up in groups of people who think, oh, they they got the same intentions as us because we look the same. Black people do it, white people do it, Hispanic people, everybody does it. Until you can learn to judge people on other like real substance, some people judge people off that. That's why they couldn't just say, yo, that white guy, I know you're like a white supremacist, but that white guy, he's gonna be bad for you. They couldn't tell him that.
About to die if you leave him in there. He's like, hey, I just hope you have a good night. Now he's not who you think he is. We're gonna bounce. That shit was stupid.
Yeah, he tried to beat the sunset because he didn't want the vampires to come after him.
He wanted the smoke. I want him. Bring his ass out. We're gonna fuck his ass up. But
the sun was going down. What movie did he watch? With people with good intentions, at some point, Stevie would have been like, oh yeah, the sun was going down. Then he would have been at full power. Okay, that makes sense. But he never does that.
He was on some they know what the fuck they doing type of time. But then all right, well if you kill Vance, you gonna let this vamp kill this family? And then like I didn't know how woke this shit was until after I read about all the double meanings and shit, dog. But once I realized what the fuck the movie was about, it's just like a woke propaganda piece.
It's not. First of all, if Stevie just told on himself.
Come on, man. That's too easy.
Because if you had to go on the internet to read about all these things that you didn't catch when you watched the movie, how good of a critic are you? If you had to go on the internet and read what people had. Number two, who did you read it from? Did you read it from Ryan Coogler? Did Ryan Coogler, the writer of the movie, tell you this is what the double meanings were? Or did you read on your curated algorithm what the double meanings were? Bro, we just gotta ask people questions sometimes, man.
Because it's
what was woke about it?
Because if the meaning behind the movie is the vampires are irrelevant. The vampire is the metaphor for white people appropriating black culture.
No.
So the black people are in the juke joint having a black time. It's black owned. We having a good time. This is our shit. And then they playing the music, which attracts the vampires, which is also the white people, and they want to get in and get down with the black folks, but the black folks don't let them. So then the vampires start playing their music, saying we can get down and shit too, right? But they still don't let them in. And then they eventually get in and they take over.
But you skip so much of the plot though. Oh my God! Listen, I'm about to lose my mind. All right, look, when the vampires came, right? Remick, that was his name, Remick. When Remick came, he wanted that. He seen how they were able to connect their culture through music, and they kept it within themselves. And he wanted to be able to do that too. But just like the idea of black kind of erased people's origins, Jamaican, African, you know what I'm saying? The concept of white also did the same thing to other people. Remick didn't want to become white. Remick wanted to be Irish. That's what he wanted to be. But if he were to assimilate with everybody else, he would have been under the umbrella of what all the other people, well, not all the other people, but the people represented in the movie, the Klansmen that sold him the thing, the Klansman's daughter who was in the original house, that's what he would have became. But he doesn't know anything else. So he's like, if I make y'all part of what I get, maybe we could, but then everybody would just be up under that same umbrella of.
So it's like
and when they came to the juke joint, the girl who was mixed, not a white girl, the mixed girl, that's what happens with biracial people. They have like this double-edged sword. Part of her wants to, because at first, remember, they didn't want her to come in there either, right? But they let her in because she was there since they was born. But she's the one who convinced them to say, maybe we should let them come in, right? Maybe we should convince them that they should be a part of this because they got money. That's what she was thinking. She thought it'd be better for everybody because if we can get their money, then we could get Because mind you, everybody else in the juke joint that was working as slaves, they were getting paid in like wooden coins, things that didn't matter. Their owners were paying them in ways they could never financially be free. They could only spend that money with their owners, right? So what she was thinking was like, yo, let me go get Remick. We get their money flowing through here. Then we could keep the juke joint running. But she sees Remick as, I mean, I'm part of Remick too. And that's the catch-22 of being biracial. Especially when you pass for what the race that people consider superior. There's so much to the movie. You see how all of this is part of the plot that he don't mention? It's like seeing like this much of an iceberg above the water, and you're like, bro, that thing is not that big. Then you find out the ocean where that iceberg is freaking 70 miles deep. You're like, oh. Well, Stevie running around here talking about the iceberg only this big, bro. What y'all talking about? That's what's happening.
The white people taking over black spaces, right? That's why they try to emphasize how important music is, specifically to black people, where they had that scene where Buddy's going crazy playing the blues, and they show like how powerful it is, and you see how the future, and you see the past, and how it's rooted in our DNA and all that. They're trying to show how powerful music is to the black culture to emphasize that point.
Did you like that scene at least? How they meshed all the musics together and stuff?
No, because I was already off at that point.
Do you hear what he said? It wasn't a good scene because I already didn't like the movie. If you can't admit like, yo, that was shot well, I think it's good but I didn't like the movie. That's like saying like, yo, I went to this restaurant, bro, the okra, everything else was trash. Even though you had an appetizer and an entree before you really dove into that side, or yo, their cheesecake, fire. Everything else was trash. You literally had a whole appetizer, a drink, an entree, sides. You can still admit the dessert was good and admit everything you ate before was trash.
Bro, I was already pissed at that point.
Did you read this woke stuff before you went?
No, after. But that's why the movie's so appealing to the black community specifically, is because they're purporting this message behind it.
No, but I think Stevie just doesn't have enough information about what actually happened in America. I brought up so many things that I guarantee you Stevie don't know. Stevie don't know that there was segments of the white community that did not accept Irish people. There were parts of the community that did not acknowledge what Italians were doing with the mafia as part of their culture. When Bloods and Crips start killing each other, they call that black culture. When the Colombo family and the other, I don't know, listen, shout out to the Colombos. Y'all the one that pop up in the head first. Y'all got the clout. All right. But when they start warring with Nicky, buddy from Philly, when they start warring with him, they don't call that white culture. They call them, that's them. All right. But it's those type of things that happen in society that are put into this movie that Stevie don't know. He just don't know. You can't see things that you don't understand in the film. He only get the tip of the iceberg.
Bro, it's like about culture vulture, white appropriation, and how white people are just, vampires sucking black energy.
I liked it because of like the way that they showed it, like the authenticity of like the costumes, the town.
Production was fucking phenomenal.
Production was phenomenal. Acting was phenomenal. Movie was trash. What are we talking about right now?
It was good as shit.
Yeah.
I thought Michael B. Jordan did his thing.
The acting was phenomenal. The production was phenomenal, but the story was whack. Like, if you just think about it, the plot was it was stupid. Vampires pull up on black people partying, and then that's it. There was no plot.
That's not the whole movie. Because when Remick ate the family, Remick was able to convey the message to Smoke and Stack that, yo, them people coming to kill you. That's why Smoke and Stack knew what was going to happen. Or maybe he knew it, but I think when Smoke and Stack fought, some way, he found out the people were going to plan to shoot them up the next day anyway. That's why he returned back, killed everybody, then ended up dying and going off into that spiritual world with his family.
Like, okay, what the fuck did I just watch? And then the whole shootout at the end was fucking whack. It was like, why? And that whole concept, like, if the KKK,
not when you're breaking it down like that. Yeah, I see it from that standpoint, 100%.
and then it's
See, he don't got friends that ask him real questions. Stevie got a bunch of yes men. Oh, I mean, I understand that. They're not asking him no real. So explain this. Maybe his friends aren't as in depth. They're only as in depth as Stevie is mentally. Maybe, I don't know.
like if the KKK really wanted to, like, you know, fuck up shop and fuck up black people, why the hell they gonna wait till the juke joint is closed? If you really want to kill a bunch of black folks, you pull up when the club is hot and take them all out. Then you going to just kill the owners the next day? That shit was stupid. And then the scene with all the vampires died, that's fucking whack. The vampire just stayed out there and saw the sun come up and just volunteered to die. Like, y'all saw the sun coming up, like, your master is about to get killed, but y'all don't have to stand out there and get killed with him. And they made it abundantly clear in the movie that,
Buddy, where were the black vampires going to go? They didn't own things down there. They were slaves. They were where were they supposed to go hide? That's the whole point. When you become part of that and then you want to have somewhere to go home, I feel like Stevie going through this a little bit too. Like, yo, I have this identity. I feel what these people are saying. Then when it's time for you to retreat to a place that, okay, maybe people can understand my perspective, there's no place for you there, and there's no place for you another place. I don't believe that's how the world works verbatim. But where were the vampires supposed to go?
is about to get killed, but y'all don't have to stand out there and get killed with them. And they made it abundantly clear in the movie that, like, usually in vampire movies, you kill the head vampire, all the vampires die. But they made it clear in this shit that that's not the way it was. You got to kill that fucking vampire. So if the head vampire, even at the end, like the end of credits, Michael B. Jordan, his girl was still alive. So the head vampire had nothing to do with them. So all them vampires just stayed out there and died for nothing. They could have fucking left. Seeing the sun.
And went where? Like, bro, they are in the South. They are owned. Some of them do got places to go. Like, Annie killed herself, so she went to the spirit world, right? Everybody else got eaten by Smoker Stack killed her before they could kill her, something like that, right? Everybody else, they were owned. They were working in cotton fields when they came to pick them up. Where were they going to go?
Come up. That part was stupid. I was really gassed or juiced to see the movie, right? And I knew it was gonna fall short of my expectations because that shit happens all the fucking time. But then once I started going with it and connecting the dots, like, oh, this shit is fucking ass. Because they contradict themselves, bro. If the message behind the fucking movie is to,
you hear he's about to say a message that the movie people didn't say. Some people in his comment section, on his Twitter, in his Instagram algorithm, that's what they said. And then he's taking what they said and saying, well, if that's supposed to be the movie, then it even makes even less. That's dumb. That's like me looking at somebody's painting, telling Stevie what it's supposed to mean. And then Stevie's like, well, if that's what it's supposed to mean, when I'm not the one who painted it.
highlight appropriation of black culture, how white people do that shit. What's the point of having the pretty white girl involved with
She was mixed, but he forgot that part.
Michael B. Jordan be the lead cause of everything happening?
Hold on, what he say?
Michael B. Shit. What's the point of having the pretty white girl involved with Michael B. Jordan be the lead cause?
Because he knew, this is so dumb. He knew that it was better for her to go marry and date a white dude because society looked at her like she was white. So she could take that half of herself and go live her life. But when they reconnected, he started feeling the feelings. You know, he had sex with her and just disappeared. And she wanted to know why the man that she actually wanted to be with didn't want to be with her. And he explained that to her. But the reason why she became the reason everything else happened is because that other part of her that Michael B. Jordan told her to go live about, she still had that internally. And that internal part of her is the part of her that got her to rationalize with telling Remick to come inside the... Did you not watch the movie? Oh my God, I'm about to... Listen. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
Of everything happening, right? It's because of her that the vampires got in the motherfucking...
Because she identified with them because she was half white. What part of that did you not understand?
The crib. The point of the movie is to demonize white people.
No, that's not the point. The point of the movie was not to demonize white people. It was to show the relations between two different sections of white existence in America and how both of those bookend on each other and ended up swallowing up that black section together.
Right? So the white people coming in
and not saying that is all of, but that was they were between Remick and the KKK. If Remick didn't kill them that night, the KKK was going to kill them the next day. The reason the KKK was going to kill them was pure hatred. Remick wanted a sense of belonging, but because it would have all encapsulated them. Because if Remick would have ate all of them would have still been under the same power structure they were when the KKK wanted them out there in the fields working. They would have ended up in the same place.
Over, but the white people that y'all are championing is like, you know, she's culturally down, like she grew up with us and shit, but she the pretty white girl that lets the vampires in. Like she's the reason everything popped off.
The fact that he keeps saying pretty white girl shows me he did not watch the movie. You weren't paying attention. You don't have the IQ points that you think you got. When you're watching them, go back and watch it.
Jordan, everything popped off because of that. And then at the same time, if you want to empower black people, bro, why would you have this big black fat girl be the representation of like the black savior woman? She was.
First of all, Annie wasn't the only black woman in the movie. The singer that Sammy was pursuing that said, I just want to taste it, right? I just want to taste that. She was also a black woman. But the fact that you can only see her and say, that's the only pretty person, it shows you how you think.
The one that knew the shit. She knew how to kill the vampire. She was the one to put everybody on game. You would represent the black woman in that regard, this big fat black girl, but then have the white girl, the pretty white girl, the pretty motherfucker, and she's the reason why everybody got fucked up.
I did talk to the person about that after that I went to the movie with. I was just kind of like, damn, how they did do the compare and contrast in regards to the contrasting of the white girl and the big black girl. I did say that.
You see how they just skipped over Sammy's love interest in the movie? He did everything for her. He wanted to get next to her. She was the big deal in the city. She was able to go off, get married, be famous. She had it all. And Sammy wanted to have that too.
That white girl didn't need to be white. It could have been another black girl that went out there and did the same shit.
No, because the reason why that would have been a plot hole if she did that. But the reason why it fits in the plot is because she was half black, passing for white. And she went out there because she identified with part of Remick.
It made her white. What's the point?
I know his book trash. I know that book trash. Because if you can't see this when you watch other things, like this is self-explanatory. To me, she was half black. She identified with the white side of her when she wanted to, hey, you know, they got that money. You know what I'm saying? We could. Come on.
Making her white. If the message is to demonize white people, what's the point of making her white?
Probably inclusion, but hey, man, watch how you say that white girl, because that white girl, she kind of bad.
Yeah, she did her thing too. She did her fucking thing. She could act her ass off.
What'd you think about her personality in that movie, though?
Yeah, she pulled that old.
Hold on.
Southern dialect ass off. She sound like a goddamn sister.
Yeah, she was like, you done stuck your tongue in my coochie.
Yeah.
She was like, oh. And then when she was a vampire, she was like, oh, well, you can steal from them, but you can't steal this pussy.
Yeah, bro.
I said, damn, bro, she with the shit. I said, goddamn.
Yeah. Like I said, the acting was fire, but I don't like. I'm not the message and the plot was whack.
Do you think that was his best role? Michael B? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because he pulled off two characters at once and shit, and he did his thing.
Did you like how he played both the brothers?
Yeah.
It was kind of believable that it was two of them. You feel me?
Nah, he did his thing. He definitely did his thing.
And I was more so talking about the ambiance of it, the whole, like you said, the production standpoint.
Yeah,
I liked how the standpoint.
Buddy. If you look right here, as it turns out, both Haley and Mary have something in common: their ancestry in Sinners. Her character is part black, despite not looking like it. Come on, man. Did you watch the movie? Did you watch it? Of course not.
I like how that the famous brother, the one that kind of reminded me of Samuel Jackson, him. I don't know his name, but like
the drunk.
Yeah. I like him in movies. I like the young man that played the guitar. You feel me? Like I don't know. I like the music aspect.
Yeah,
of
you
it.
liked the ambiance. You liked everything outside of the actual movie. Like that plot was whack, bro.
I want anybody who. Matter of fact, let's.
In the ambiance. Of
I was so disappointed.
And the whole like the acting that I didn't even.
Somebody said, everybody stop typing mean comments. My thumb is getting tired of liking them all. I get it, Stevie. You hated the shootout because you hated seeing. Oh, wow. Bro, really milking the black fatigue angle every chance he gets. That's what I'm saying. If I see him like talk about another movie, then I would get with it, right? But this was his chance to put on the shoes, get on that hardwood floor, and start tap dancing. It's crazy. Bro, white people were saying they loved the movie because contrary to popular belief, most white people are decent people, okay? Just like most black people are decent people. Most people are decent to the people that they're around, all right? Even though they might be not decent to people they're not around, that's why you get mean trolls on the internet. If those people were to meet in real life, 9 times out of 10, a 1-hour conversation, those people will be decent to each other. Okay. The history is the history. This is the history of America. If we cannot agree when we depict it that this is actually the history, then maybe one of the parties need to do a little bit more learning. Okay. The one who agrees and the one who thinks they're just doing this just because, one of those parties needs to do a little bit. Stevie live in Atlanta, bro. Stevie, listen. In November, I think it's about to be November by the time most of y'all watch this. There is a place called the Human Rights Museum, right? Just go there. Just go to the Human Rights Museum and learn a little bit about the history of the world. It's world history in there, okay? And then come back and revisit some of the ways that you think once you inform yourself about some things that actually happened in the world.
Until you mentioned it now, I didn't think nothing of the plot. I swear to God.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of movies to me is the fucking plot, the story. And the story was whack. Like I compare it to Get Out, bro. It's the same shit, but Get Out as a movie was fire. Like Get Out had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. They tried to do a Get Out and failed miserably.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They're not even.
Yeah.
They still had that agenda. It was still divisive. It was still like
the fact that you think it's divisive. These are things that actually happen. They're metaphors for things that actually happen. They're not meant to be divisive. How can I think this is a thing that people struggle with when they are in relationships or relationships, or they have a relation to something, right? How can I tell the story about something that you did wrong without you taking offense like I'm trying to demean you? You know what? I was wrong. You know what? They were wrong. You know what? I understand. These are terms that will heal the world if people just use them a little bit more, instead of taking what they identify as and protecting anything painted with that brush. At some point, you got to look at things past the surface level. Okay. Are white people all bad? No. So when you watch this movie, is the movie talking about you? No. Is it talking about people who may be like your grandfather? Maybe we need to revisit. Maybe granddad was a bad person. That don't mean I want him to live any worse of a life, or my memory of him isn't still the grandpa I know. But in reality, grandpa might have did some messed up things. And that's okay. And not telling a story about that isn't an indictment on you though.
Versus black, you know what I'm saying? Turning
Like
blacks
the
into
other
slaves.
movie or something like that.
Huh?
It was called the other movie that killed it or whatever his name is, or
Is it called Us?
This
Us?
Is Us or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like Duality. I saw that. That shit, I ain't like that one that much. He was trying to do too much. But Get Out
Why
was,
did your wife dislike the movie?
huh?
Why did your wife dislike the movie?
For the same reasons I did, bro. Like I think we got the same mind, bro. Like we were looking at each other the whole time in the theater, like just rolling our eyes, bro. I was like, cause we didn't get it, bro. It's like, why is everybody fucking with this shit so much? And it's because of what you're saying, like,
bro. If you wrote down, this is why I know Stevie he didn't write essays in school. He didn't have to do no research papers in school. He didn't have to cite no sources in school. He didn't have to do none of this. And Steve, if send him the clip. I know you didn't have to do this, because if you did this, you would have been able to extract more information out of the movie than you did. And if you would have extracted that information out the movie and you would have came to the conclusion that it's trash, I would have said, you know what? I mean, that's your opinion. But your opinion is based in so little understanding that, like, it's not even valid. You weren't even judging the movie, because most of the things you said the movie was about, I recalled all these things, and I seen this movie opening weekend. And it is October 29th when I'm recording this. I don't know what you were. It seemed like you recorded this 2 days after you left, and you ain't recalling nothing.
the production, the ambiance, the music is fire, right? They were able to depict that time back in the day real well, man. The staging, the location, all that. But I don't watch movies for all that. Like I appreciate it, but I'm there for like the writing. Like, what's up, man? Let me see what y'all doing. And it's just a political like propaganda piece to me. To empower, it's like black victimhood. You know what I'm saying? We can't have shit. We got these vampire bloodsuckers taking over.
No, it wasn't. They couldn't have it because the vampires came in. They couldn't have it. Smoke and Stack could not have the reality that they wanted, that they seen the Italians in Chicago do, because the Italians in Chicago, at the end of the day, were able to go into regular life in the daytime and be white people. But when he tried to do that with his community, this is a community affected in a way where they don't even get paid real money to do their work. They don't get paid the same currency. We can go out into the world and pay for houses and stuff. They weren't getting paid with that same currency. So the reality that they tried to put forward for their own community was not possible. That's what it was talking about.
Our shit, which was it's actually a cool idea to do, but they could have did it much better. They could have made that shit fire, made it more believable. It had a dope.
When people say this, it could have been better. If they do not give you a reason why it could have been better, they are just chatting. They're just chatting. Don't even pay it no mind.
As plot.
Yeah. What did you think of this the second ending?
When they pulled up to the bar?
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. What would you take from that? Was that like was there anything in that made you think like it was?
No, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a creative ending for it, and you know what I mean. They say that they really fuck with each other and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? My brother told me to let you live, so I let you live, and I thought it was cool. It was cute.
Okay, cool. Yeah, in my head, I was like, okay, cool. Like he kept his word with his brother. Yeah. But then I also thought, and I also kind of low key thought for a second, the person I went with, I was like, yo, like when you did say, because I watched like the Twilight, I watched like the Vampire Diary shit and all that stuff, and it's just I've seen a lot of vampire stuff, and when they're newborns, they're the strongest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, that's one thing that I did. I was kind of like, normally the people who even turn them over tend to be weaker than the new ones, because the new ones are the strongest because they're the hungriest. They're the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't have enough control and shit. So yeah, I could see that.
And
But
vampires heal, bro. And when that part when he shot Buddy in the face and Buddy's face didn't heal, I'm like, bro, you're a vampire. You're not a fucking zombie. Like, vampires' faces heal. Tedious, but like I like vampires. You're gonna do vampires, you gotta do it right.
If you're gonna use that type of thing, then at least be true to the.
But there's healing factors in every vampires heal. Doesn't mean insta heal. It could heal over time, because there are vampire movies where they got injured, they had to get away, then they healed up. There's some vampire movies where bullet goes through their chest, they look down, look back up, camera shows the thing healing. This is like nitpicking to try to prove a point, right? Because we've all seen different types. We've seen zombies that regenerate. We've seen vampires that regenerate. We've seen werewolves that regenerate. We've seen a lot of different things. At what pace it does dictates what media you watched it in.
Yeah, like keep it consistent.
Yeah, because every other thing that does vampires kind of does the same.
Because there was times where Blade had to get away, had scars, and then things happened before he started to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying from that standpoint. Damn, I'm definitely gonna have to.
And then some of them don't heal. Like in some vampire movies, they don't really heal up until they consume again. They have to bite somebody. I think in Twilight, that's what happened. He had to Bella had to suck his blood to heal up after the pregnancy or something happened like that.
I ain't recommending your ass nothing. Because when I seen that you guys put trash, I was like, damn, bro. I was like,
I just did a whole video about it. I'm gonna see how that shit go. I'm gonna post it on my music channel. Cause it's so viral. I'm like, man, I must be missing something. But I know exactly what it is, bro. It's like it's popping because we live in this woke ass world and this, black victimhood, white devil. Literally.
That is not the case. I wish people could just acknowledge history. You should be able to acknowledge history without going forward to say every black person good, every white person bad. Every you shouldn't move forward. Every white person racist, every black person monkey. You shouldn't do that, bro. Like, just because it was the past and people thought like this, you should be able to acknowledge what they thought, see it in cinema without saying, is that what you're saying the world is now? Like, you should be able to do that.
White victim or black victim, white devil, literally.
Yeah, it was 1000% that. But damn, thank you for breaking that shit down like that to a science, because
he did.
I feel like,
bro, he didn't break it down. Yo, his friend has no backbone at all, bro. Listen, like I said, low-cal man. I don't know what to say. I would talk to Stevie about Sinners. And I would want to go through all the plot points that I discussed in this video to say, like, well, she wasn't a white girl. You kept saying white girl. Did you know she was mixed? Oh, well, I didn't know that. Okay. Do you think her being mixed added to the story? I mean, I guess it could. Well, do you think her mix is the reason why she thought Remick might be good to come inside the thing? These are all parts of the story that are parts of reality. There are people who procreated with those they owned in history, and the descendants of those children had to pick between what their reality was going to be. And depending on how they looked, society picked that reality for them. That was depicted in the movie. I know this book. I know the book got to be trash, bro. I just know it. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. See y'all next time. Peace.
So when the metal hit his mug, he just sunk in place. 100K holla, chillin' Bahamas. Come home to your crib and throw in your mama.